We're back, baby!
Mario Kart Super Circuit is the game on today's video, and geez, I never played this game as a kid. I remember seeing it on store shelves a few times, but never did ask my family for it for one reason or another. But I must say, I really did miss out on a gem. That is, until I got my old Windows XP laptop as a 13-year-old and emulated the game. Now, I know I could have just shelled out money at a flea market or something, but I was a kid and had no job, so I had no other option at the time. My initial thoughts were...
Bob, there you are. Dude, we've been looking for you everywhere. Dude, it's 2 in the morning.
It's okay. Yeah, the younger me really didn't find it all too fun and went back to Mario Kart DS once I beat all the cups, including a few of the select retro ones. But overall, I just kind of left it in the back of my mind and said, wow, that was alright. Mario Kart Super Circuit played almost exactly like the original Super Mario Kart, but with a more arcade-like twist, so to speak. Even though I missed out on this game in its prime, like I did with a lot of mainline Game Boy games, this was a trip back in time, and man, was it a wild ride. Welcome to Days of the Races, where me and my friend Sporadic get to take a look back on the Mario Kart games that have been released and just talk about our feelings on each title. We are going back in time through each release from 8 all the way to the very first title. Today, we tackle the one and only Mario Kart Super Circuit. Wait, didn't we already say we were covering that?
Mario Kart Super Circuit on Game Boy Advance. 4 players, no rules.
Yep, that is a real advertisement. Released on July 21st, 2001, we are blessed by this game and its advertisements such as this. So yeah, Mario Kart Super Circuit was one hell of a game, and I must say this has a lot of history to it. Firstly, it was the very first handheld Mario Kart game, and despite Mario Kart 64 existing, they went with the old school 2D sprites for this game. Also, I want to mention this game was developed by Intelligent Software, the same makers of several of Nintendo's greatest hits, like Paper Mario, Fire Emblem, and WarioWare, just to name a few. This game being on a handheld honestly was one of the neatest things, and despite me ignoring this game's existence for so long, I really am surprised at how many people actually played this game, especially with the link cable being needed, but then again, this was the early 2000s. Also, this is the link cable. You used to hook it up to Game Boys and allowed for co-op in games. I don't know if anyone really needed to see an image of this damn cable again, but here it is. Sadly, the Game Boy wireless adapter didn't release at this time, so you couldn't even make use of it for this game, which I honestly think if this game released with the wireless adapter, we would have seen a lot more people talk about Super Circuit than we already do. Even though I couldn't play this game cooperatively because I own it on the Wii U Virtual Console, I still actually had fun just playing it alone. Am I weird for that? Well, maybe I won't be super weird because the game itself acted more like an arcade game, as I already mentioned. Every time you place below top 4, you lose a life and get 3 retries to get a better placement, or it's game over. Some might point to saying that it's dated or old, but I quite like the risk/reward this adds to Mario Kart. Now, it wasn't the only one because Super Mario Kart did it as well, but to go from 64 back to the roots of the SNES original was quite refreshing. Speaking of Mario Kart 64, this game did also utilize the tried and true pipe frame style kart, which I wanted to mention because it's the frickin' pipe frame.
The roster for Mario Kart 64 returns for Super Circuit, although there are also known logged statistics for each of them, though it's only for their top speed and their weight. 3 pairs of 2 share the same stats in this game. The Mario Brothers stats are even across the board with 3 stars in speed and weight. Peach and Toad have the highest speed in the game at a complete 5 stars, but they're also the 2 lightest karts in the game as well at 1 measly star for their weight. Wario and Donkey Kong are a bit on the slow side this time around with only 2-star speed, but their 4-star weight more than makes up for it. Yoshi and Bowser are the 2 odd men out here. Yoshi's not as fast as the Princess and the Shroom Head, but he has some more resistance compared to his fellow lightweights, his stats being 4-star speed and 2-star weight. Bowser, with a 5-star weight, is the heaviest in the game, like usual, but also his stats say he's the slowest racer at only 1 measly little star. Personally, I've found that doesn't really matter much. If you know how to master any one racer in this game, you'll be fine.
The course selection this time around is filled with tracks that have been remade in future games, like Ribbon Road and Cheeseland, or desperately need to be brought back in future installments in the series. There isn't a huge variety in track layout, aside from the tracks like Broken Pier and Lakeside Park, but I think the variety stems from how varied some of the tracks can be in terms of its environment and backgrounds. For instance, let's look at Sunset Wilds, and how the track changes from sunset to sundown as you race. Or Snowland, which to me looks like a really cool 2D version of Sherbert Or even Luigi Raceway, because rain. Each track also has unique features or a cool backdrop or two. For instance, look in the back of Rainbow Road. See how Bowser's castle is floating high up in the air? Yep. That is a Paper Mario reference, and ironically, now knowing Intelligent Systems made both of these games, it seems all the more fitting. Another neat detail I want to touch up on is why Snowland feels all slippery. Look at this image of the track here. See it? No? Well, if not, each of these little ridges act as tiny ramps that the player drives over to simulate a shaky, or slippery, feeling. Pretty neat detail if you ask me. Finally, the last thing I like to mention is the track portraits. Now, in most Mario Kart games, the track portraits are all the images of the track either zoomed out or something, but in this game, they have actual art to go along with it, and honestly, it helps give this game a very unique charm. Some of my favorites are Snowland, Shy Guy Beach, and Rainbow Road. Now, even though I don't have a memory of visiting these tracks aside from the retro courses in other Mario Kart games, I do gotta say, I enjoyed the selection. Not every track was as memorable, especially when you add the extra tracks to the question, but man, I was impressed by a lot of what I saw here, especially for 2001. With the limited hardware, I think the main core of the game, which was the courses, were well done and warrant revisits from time to time.
Speaking of revisiting, Mario Kart Super Circuit was the very first game in the series to have Retro Cups. The tracks from Super Mario Kart make an unlockable return in Super Circuit. That's the reason there are 5 cups in this game instead of 4. It was to make up for Super Mario Kart's cup layout of 4 cups with 5 tracks each. Unlocking them, however, that can be interesting. In order to get them in Grand Prix mode, you need to run through a certain cup first, let's say the 50cc Mushroom Cup, then get the gold trophy, and then run through it again and get 100 coins total in that second run. Then, you will have unlocked the Retro Mushroom Cup in that specific engine class. You need to do that for all 5 cups across all of the engine classes in the game. And in order to unlock the Retro Cups in Time Trial mode, you need to unlock the Retro Cups in 150cc. While you're unlocking the extra cups, there's also a rank system that the game goes by to tell how well you did in each cup. I gotta say, the way the game's code breaks down and deciphers what rank you get is pretty complex. I read up on a guide recently, that's currently in the description, I recommend you go read it, that was typed up on GameFAQs back in 2017 that went into very exquisite detail on how the ranks were determined. For starters, one of the factors is how many coins you grab and manage to keep. Other factors include how many items you throw, how many items you get hit with, the times of all the laps in the race, how many times you have to be dragged onto the track by Lakitu, how many other racers you run into with your own kart, how many track enemies like crabs and space mice you run into with said kart, how many lives you have left, how many frames you spent off-road, even what tracks you play and what character you use determine what rank you get, for God's sake. It is that freaking specific. Some actually work towards getting a higher rank, and the others can actually hinder your chances. You gotta be real careful with it.
I am known on these retrospectives to gush about the soundtrack, and you know, I could just skip out on it this time around. Yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Nah, the music in Super Circuit is great. I have to talk about it. It has some of the most amazing songs here, and I am not just bluffing. Songs like Sunset Wilds, Rainbow Road, Broken Pier, I can go on and on and on. And I will. I remember sitting down and just listening to the music before I was able to replay the game after it being so long since I emulated it all those years back. And I gotta say, this soundtrack was pleasant. While playing the game, I had the audio muted so me and Sporadic could jam out to the Knuckles Chaotic soundtrack, but once I unmuted the TV, I was extremely happy. It doesn't take a whole lot to make me like a soundtrack. Actually, that's a lie, it kinda does. But geez, I love this game's sound fun and variety with music choices. The composer of the soundtrack, Minako Hamano, who also helped make music for games like Link's Awakening, Metroid Zero Mission, and Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Without her talent and the various others that probably helped with this game, the soundtrack just wouldn't be the same. It has a unique sound that I just really love. As a whole with these music sections, I have less and less to say, but more and more to feel about these songs. It's a don't think but feel situation. Basically what I'm saying is the soundtrack is great. Mario Kart Super Circuit might be regarded as the most overlooked Mario Kart game, and despite what I have heard some people say about this game, I really do like it. As someone who enjoys 2D sprites of the original, this was super at home for me, to a point where I hope Nintendo thinks about porting Game Boy Advance games to the Switch Online service. Seriously, online Mario Kart Super Circuit would be a treat. The soundtrack, gameplay, and the amount of surprising depth it takes to get high ranks in courses, and just how fun the game is as a whole, it's surprising why I didn't end up enjoying this game sooner. Even the adverts and the fact this game had so much effort put into this little portable Mario Kart just goes to show how much power the Game Boy was able to utilize, even in 2001. It might not be my new favorite, but I am glad I got the chance to revisit a game I only emulated back then, and playing it via the Wii U Virtual Console was a blast. With all that said, make sure you subscribe, stay safe, and lastly, stay hydrated. I'll catch you in the next one.